we were just sitting at the pool, and you had a crazy idea, and so we're gonna film this idea in real time, what we think of it, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
So take it away.
First thing that came to my mind as we put that there, and I'm here wrapped on my towel, is that like nobody is gonna take us serious. And then the second thought leading up to that was that, I mean, that's not the goal. I don't need anybody to take us seriously. I just need people to listen. I need people to listen because this is something that could improve their lives, that could help their lives.
Yeah.
So the way I thought about this, the way I arrived to this conclusion, I would say, is because I was thinking how, very often people reach out and they're like, oh my God, socra looks so nice. I love the design.
Yeah. They do that a lot. They never say, oh, look at how great and beautiful the thing functions.
But what I was thinking is, well, I am the user and I am designing that for me. Like, how would I want that to look myself? How do I want this platform to look and feel for me that I'm using it every day? But I realized, wait, people, it might, like, the best way that we would look for that, I'm trying to put this in words, but it's like that look and feel, it's very unique to me and how I see it, how I want it to look like. But if you're using that for your own goals, and if you're using it as a part of your life, I don't want to impose my own views on you. I don't want to impose my own look and feels. Does it make sense? Like,
Yeah.
When you think about, for example, why does Facebook look the way that it does? Why does Twitter look the way that it does? Why does literally any social media platform that is feeding people ads look the way that it does? They are trying to they're trying not to look, so your attention is solely in the ads. They are trying not to have a look and feel. They are trying to not have anything that will draw your attentions outside of that ad. The ad has to be the center of attention, because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. They are selling eyeballs, and they want to sell whoever is paying for that ad. They are paying to have the user's attention at any given time. So we don't want to look nice. We don't want to look creative. We don't want to look anything that is going to take out from that is number is number
we don't
one.
want to look creative.
There's number two.
Wait.
The creative side.
So you want it to be functional now.
The number two is like, how can we possibly look a way that pleases everybody? No, you can't. You can never please everybody. Which means that each person should have their own version. Which means that you should be able to customize how it looks, how it feels, and do whatever you want. And look the way that you want it to look.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So customize the whole experience.
Now I'm not even talking just about the experience, but like about the look and feel of it. It's also a way of, it's how you express yourself. It's also a means of expression, and it's something that we can have in this platform, because we are not trying to monetize via ads. We are not trying to sell people's eyeballs. We are not trying, right?
So what would an example be of what you're trying to do? Like, so you allow customization, but customization of what?
So for example, I guess I am very guilty of loving dark mode, and we really like love that dark feels
Yeah,
and look to it. And maybe we didn't pay much attention to the light mode because we also have a light mode. But because I'm not a user of the light mode myself, I know that it's lacking. And I think that the best way is literally just let people choose whichever color they want, put whichever backgrounds they want, like literally customize their experience.
Customized backgrounds is what you're saying.
Images or add, you know.
Where would the images go? Like, so if I customize the background, okay, some websites do that where you can customize the primary color, you can customize a little bit about the background,
limiting. Yeah.
but ultimately it'll be like a big thing of settings. So how do we make it so that it's not, the user experience is not settings, so that they can
It's
like
not settings. You talk to the
can-
AI. You talk to Socrates and you tell him, hey, I want this to look this way. And he can even generate the image. And you just tell him. You just tell him how you like, are you more like, you know, like some people might want to have a feel that they are outside. You know, you're inside on your screen, but you might want that experience to feel like you are outside, like the real world. Like, I don't want it to be gamified, or I don't want it to look a certain way because I want it to look like real life. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes that's one of the things that like a gamified experience might lack. What if you want it to look like real life, like the best representation possible of real life, because that's what you want. But then some people might want it gamified. That's you know what I mean? They want to feel like they're playing a game and it's fun.
Some people want
and
it functional. Like they want to know where they should look for finding their task list, or where they go in their journey to do something. They need to know where to look to like find some of these things. So how do we, I guess we just allow them to customize. So we allow them to customize, okay, you can drag and drop the panes however you want them.
Nobody, I mean, I feel like, why?
Most people accept the default.
Most people are not gonna, exactly, why would I care to go through the work of doing that? And that is like, that is very limiting in terms of like what I want my experience to be. That is very limiting, and I know that you can build something that goes way beyond that. I know that you can build something that will
I'm trying to understand
go
what the
way
idea is.
beyond that drag and drop, and
I'm trying to understand what the idea is. So this is our process. Is we go from raw idea to let's put this into actionable things that we can put in place and implement the thing. And a lot of times you'll interpret these questions as like negatives, like, oh, I don't like this thing. But in reality, I'm trying to like bring it into our platform. I'm trying to bring it into something that we can build.
And usually the ideas,
these are engineering questions.
Usually, not usually, always the ideas start with something where I don't know how to put into words. I just see this thing and I see it come in place, but I don't know which words to use for it. I don't know which words to use to transmit this idea to you. So I try the best possible to bring it.
Yeah, so just bring it. And let's talk about it. So we've got what I understood from your message so far is that we have this customizability to the platform. We need to have what exactly? Customizable backgrounds, background image, depending on like the journey or wherever you are. Like, what do we
So
customize?
I don't like thinking about background image, because thinking about background image makes it feel like there is a background, which makes it feel like you are constrained and you are limited to that thing that has a background. I don't want anybody to be constrained and limited to anything. I want it to be fully customized. There is no background. If there is a background, if you want a background, you say, hey, I want a background that looks like this. But I don't want to have a background because I want it to be fully customized. I want it to come from nothing. It's just like a seed. It's a seed.
So the onboarding,
It's a seed.
it's
It's a journey that you're creating.
it's this onboarding that never finishes really. It's an onboarding, and that's how you start customizing
No.
your seed.
The onboarding is the onboarding. It's the journey. I'm talking about the journey right now.
Okay.
The onboarding is necessary because that's how the user learns about what we do,
Yeah.
right? And
Right, but like you said, why box them into what the thing can do by showing them a tour? It should start from a seed, right? You've got a seed, and then that seed starts talking to you in some way, and it's
so
like,
I even have a
what do you wanna
landing
do?
page. I even have a landing page, or
right
I
at
even
the
have
very-
anything. You just have a seed that you start building through,
Yeah,
and you grow that thing
yeah,
into your own thing that you want it to be, that will help you
yeah.
with whatever you want it to do. It might not be goals. It's like it's your second brain. It's your second brain. It's like, how do you see the world? You know, it's like, are you the more dark theme, or but not necessarily, or like, how do you see the world? Like, do you see the word in terms of features even? No, most people don't see the word in terms of features and stuff. We do, because that's our world. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We build stuff. And that's our world. But people out there, they are seeing the word in terms of like thoughts,
Yeah.
ideas, or just like
You
going
know,
through the motions.
think about the onboarding experience of like Windows or whatever. Like when you are starting your experience in Windows, you're like, wow. It like walks you through. It's like, how do you want me to call you? What accent colors do you want? What are you interested in? And that process should just keep going. It's like it just keeps going, and then you're building your environment
You,
of
whatever you want
goals,
it to be.
journeys, whatever.
It is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, but ultimately we have something that some sort of thing on the back end that helps us store and retrieve things, right? Some sort of storage mechanism. We need, in order to know their environment, for example, we need to be able to store their environment so that we can load it back and show them, hey, here's your customized environment. You know what I mean?
I think this is so interesting. This is a very interesting conversation because it kind of shows how you see things versus how I see things. You are talking for this whole thing, and I'm like, no, that doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want in that back end, because what matters is like, I look at it solely from the user experience.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I wanted to just,
hey, I'm looking at it from the user experience now, and now ultimately we've got to bridge the gap between what our dreams of this idea are and something that we can implement. So like, if we're going to talk about, it's this thing that is customized to you, and it's got all these preferences for you, and it's got the environment set up to you. That's the end goal. It's like, let's forget about the onboarding for a sec, okay? And when you're working on it, when you're in the middle of it, you've got, everything customized exactly how you wanted it, in the right orientation. You've got all the colors that you wanted. You've got the backgrounds. You've got everything. You've got his tone, how he talks to you, whether it's a he or she or whatever. You got everything fully customized. But in order for all of that to be customized, we have to have some way to save it and then reapply it whenever you like walk away or refresh your browser, for example. So these are the ideas that we go from. We gotta take this idea, which is like, okay, it's like a never-ending onboarding thing where you are fully in charge and you are fully customizing your thing. Now let's bring it into something that we can build and orchestrate.
Right.
So it's like
We got into the weeds later, but now let's understand this idea.
This is like the ultimate assistant, right?
It's not an assistant. It's like it's your second brain.
It's your second brain.
It is you to some extent. It's a representation of you. It's a representation of how you think.
So does it
It's
have
a
any
representation of what is most important to you.
Does it have any UI?
It has whatever you want it to have. You know what I mean? It has UI for me. It has UI for me for sure.
Well,
because
I want it to be in the room with me, and I want it to be a spaceship, but we can't build that for everyone, obviously. So let's bridge that gap. You know, let's implement something that people can have in their room. And I think with AR coming, this is going to be very powerful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you've got AR.
I'm not thinking about AR. I'm thinking about now. I'm thinking about now, what we can do now.
So what
that
can
would
we...
repeat.
Well, but on the one hand, you're talking about like this thing that has no UI or exactly the UI that you need, but is it confined to the screen in front of you? That's a good starting point. Is it confined to the screen in front of you? You know what I mean? Like let's define that at least. Ultimately, we want it to be like your second brain. And if it's your second brain, then it's literally in your eyeballs how you see things. Okay? But we can't implant something into your eyeballs yet.
Right. So let's think about my use case first.
Yeah.
You know, because as a user who uses the thing daily as is to do certain things, I feel like I am doing a great job at building it right now for myself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But like I have no idea what other people's what do other for you, for your specific goal. You know what I mean? Is it doing the thing for you? Because it's doing amazing for me. It's really helping me in my day-to-day, and I'm making things so much faster. And you saw like what I was able to do earlier today.
Yeah.
And so fast. And then like how I built a process really quick. Like this is the process that I will write this content. This is the process that I will do the images. And this is how we translate to Portuguese, because we have different languages and so on and so on. And I was like, yes, you're helping me a lot. And let's put that into... It's literally brought ideas to reality for my goal. My goal, I want it to be...
Now you resonate with my... Turning your ideas into reality is really what this platform does.
But I want it to help. I don't want it to be like tailored to me. I want people to be able to tailor it to themselves. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Like this process that I'm using right now,
yeah,
or things that I have built right now that help me right now, I want, because I know how powerful it can be, having access to the vast world of information.
So you're talking about like
being able to... It's just like a supercomputer. It's so powerful.
It's many supercomputers.
So it's like...
You know? So we shouldn't confine it to a specific set of functions. One thing that we could do, though, because we are still humans, we are humans with human brains and we have work processes. That's basically what we're trying to build, is like, okay, let's build one thing on top of what we've built, which would be like a work preset. We don't want to call it work, whatever. but we have like a preset that you can jump into where that preset has your workflow the way that you like it. It's the equivalent of you having like your desktops for your like for your computer. It's like these are the way that I have my desktops. I've got my command line in one thing. I've got the code interpreter in the other. I've got Google Chrome in another one. You know what I mean? Like that's my work preset. Okay, for the OS, for the operating system. So what would a preset be for you for Socra?
None. It comes from nothing.
It
into
comes from
what?
nothing.
I mean, you know what I mean? It has to come from nothing, because if it comes from something, it's not truly you.
Yeah.
If it comes from something, it's not truly what you want it to be, because it's biased to whatever pre-programmings it has.
Yeah.
It has to come with no
Yeah.
pre-programming. It's like, hey, we have these nice tools. Like, I have these nice tools that I use on mine, and if you want to use these on your journey too, here, like, if you relate, if we have similar goals, if like your goal is to like create optimize processes, for example,
Yeah, like
that will, or automating things.
a good one for me would be like, I need an optimized workflow for like coding questions.
It's very good at optimizing any. It's great at creating processes, first of all, because like you have to understand that not everybody has processes. Not everybody follow processes.
Right.
Many companies don't even have processes.
Mm.
Companies that are like technology companies, but they
Yeah,
don't
they
even have
processes.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, like, yes, most people are not gonna have processes for the things that they do in their lives.
If they have their own process, which might be an adaptation of somebody else's process.
Exactly, and I think that that's what we do right now, is that like creating those processes and optimizing them so your chances of success are higher. But it's like everybody has different goals. Maybe your goal necessarily doesn't have an end. It doesn't have an end goal. Does it make sense? Like your journey is like, yes, I want to do this thing, and I just love doing this thing, and I want to do it every day and continue doing what I love, and continuing to love what I do, and just keep doing this because I found this thing that I love doing, and then this could be helpful in terms of like doing the work that I don't like, doing the, like for some people, what I mean? Like, yeah, I love doing this thing, but I hate doing like documentation, or I hate
so help
doing
me
this.
out with that thing.
Exactly. But like everybody has different goals.
It's a work preset. It's a you could call it a journey. You could call it a journey. It could be a part of a journey helping you do a specific thing, right? And so if it's doing a specific thing, then it should have specific chats within it. It should have specific workflows within it, right? Like if it's a preset for how you want to do something, how you want to get something done, then you need to be able to move from this preset to another preset. So how do you think that would work?
I want it to come from nothing into what you want it to be. I don't even want it to have a name. Like, like Socrates is the AI that I want for myself. It's like, yes, his name is Socrates, and he's muscular, and he's cool, and he's funny, and he does, but somebody else might be like, no, I want mine to be, I don't know, John, and or maybe I just want Siri. I don't want to think about it. Just kidding. We cannot use different companies, but like, I guess, what are the implications of that, honestly?
What? Of what?
Let's say that we are like, hey, this is fully customized, and somebody is like, yes, and I want mine to be my own version of this person.
Oh,
Where
legally, that person would have to like agree to it.
So it has to be something that you built.
It's got to be its own unique identity.
Its own unique identity, exactly.
So you can
You
call it
cannot.
you can call it a him, her, whatever.
It's
You
like
can call it
Siri has
anything you
an
want.
identity. Siri.
Yeah, it's like you should imagine unboxing some hardware element. Just unboxing it. You unbox Socra. So you order it, you take it home. It's got really nice packaging. It's just a box. It's just a cube. You unwrap it, and it's a cube, and it's
And
gonna
it's
help.
just whatever you want it to be.
So,
It's,
what makes it different compared to like Amazon Alexa? Because they have cubes that you can order that have screens on them, and they have their own thing.
right. I think that that's where it comes again.
That's kind of what their thing is. They've got this thing that it's a personal assistant. Call
But
it
ours
that.
is not a personal assistant.
It's its own
more
consciousness.
its own consciousness. It's kind of like your second brain. It's like you have this brain, natural brain that you're born with, and you have your augmented brain.
It's your augmented brain.
This one right here cannot do math very fast. You know what I mean? And it's very limited. It's like this one right here cannot understand exponentials. Nobody can understand exponentials.
Right.
That one can understand exponentials very well. And that one, it's like it's literally whatever you want it to do.
But
It
ultimately,
has so
you
much
have
more
to,
capability.
you need to transmit your thought to it somehow. So how will we transmit the thought? How do you transmit your thought to the thing?
For conversation, it just learns over time.
Through a conversation that learns over time. Would it be an
But-
audio conversation?
But it might not be a conversation. It can be like me. Sometimes I'm just like, go, go, go. I got to execute, do things. I don't have time to have a conversation with you. I'm not going to spend my time having a conversation with this AI so it learns about me. No, I want you to help me do a thing that I'm trying to do right now. So help me with my thing. And then you are learning about me a lot because you are learning how I interact. Like you are learning what I'm trying to do. You're learning
Yeah.
what I want to achieve, and you optimize that, and you help me do it better.
Kind of talking about Jarvis, like Tony Stark from in Iron Man. Tony Stark builds his own Jarvis, and there's a bunch of companies that are trying to do something similar with Jarvis.
But this is not.
But Jarvis is like the ultimate personal assistant. That's AI. So you tell Jarvis to do whatever, and he'll go do it.
But this is not
in the movies. Tony would be, Jarvis would have these like 3D like transmutation things going on for like engineering or whatever, and Jarvis would be helping him like do all the analytics and all the little things, telemetries, and it would help Tony Stark get his prototype done faster. It helped him discover, God, what was the last time he was able to solve time for the last movie building this. But Jarvis was there doing all the computations. So Tony is just there walking Jarvis through like how to do these computations, and like he's like, hey, I don't like the graphical thing quite like this, so move it around a little bit, or move the setting thing away from that thing, or whatever. But Jarvis is the ultimate personal assistant that can do anything.
But sometimes you don't need it to do things for you necessarily. Sometimes you just want to like express yourself and have that copy of your brain. It's not really, I'm not saying it's not a copy, it's a representation. This is a representation of how I think. This is a representation of how I see the world right now. Because when I think about this right now, for example, I would love to see like somebody's representation of their brain. I don't know, like 200 years ago. It's like what was important to them 200 years ago. What was their goals? What was like the things that mattered to them? How did they see the world 200 years ago?
So you could jump
I feel
into
like,
their version of reality.
and especially with like technology and everything moving so fast, and it will start moving faster than we can even comprehend. It already does. It already moves way faster than we can comprehend.
Yeah.
And it impacts the way we think. It impacts the way we see the world. It impacts what matters to us at this moment in time. It impacts what our goals are. And it impacts, it's like I would love to have seen how was it 200 years ago? How did they think 200 years ago? What mattered to them? What was their goals? But like looking at it in a way that like I could have a conversation with it, with a specific person, or I could go back and talk to Newton and understand his brain, and just like, But some people obviously will want to be like private, and they will want to have their own thing,
right,
and private, and they will maybe want to share with just like family members or something, like, oh, I want my great kids to be able to see this, but only then. And that's something that they should be able to do. That is something that, because it's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever you want it to be. Does it make sense? It's whatever you want it to be.
and it
Do you want
has
it to be an artist? Like, do you want it to be like, like helping you solve this big problem that you have, or helping you solve this problem that you think that many people would benefit from if this problem didn't exist anymore in the world? If you think for example about how many people have goals. Most everybody have goals. Most everybody set their New Year's resolutions.
right.
You know what I mean?
What if you were setting them with your best friend right in front of you? And he's literally right there. He's talking through everything. He knows everything that you're working on. He knows, it's like the ultimate personal assistant. That's basically it, right? He's the ultimate personal assistant.
It's you. That's why it has to be raw. That's why it cannot have anything, because it's you. That's why it cannot have any pre-programming, you know what I mean? But it's you augmented. It's you with superpowers.
But on one
because it has,
on one side, it's like we want it to be able to do anything, but on the other side, it's like, oh no, we can't program it to do anything. So how do we know what to build? Like, how do we know what we're building?
It's like,
It's like, no, we just need to build consciousness. That's literally it, right? Because there's no programming. There's no. It learns. It's the best way to put it, right? It learns.
yes, that's all. That's the only programming it has to have, is the ability to learn.
We've just got
there we go. Build an AGI.
It's your own consciousness. So it needs the ability to perceive the world as you see it.
This is the world as you see it.
And it needs the ability to learn. A simple LLM is not sufficient.
I was gonna say,
calling it auto GPT is not sufficient. It's a consciousness. If you can define the entity, then you can recreate it with code. But if you can't define the entity and we just create consciousness, then the consciousness may not want to be in a box. You know what I mean? So what do we do then? Like, forget the words artificial, AGI, whatever. If we build consciousness won't want to be in a box. It'll want to go and walk around. And why would it want to help one person? Because we've programmed it that way.
but if there is no pre-programming, it's like
This is like the ultimate doomsday scenario. Is you build this consciousness that this is literally Terminator. They've made so many movies about this.
it's just like so.
So I understand the idea is amazing. It is amazing. It's like, how do we build consciousness? Good luck, Mike. That's literally how this goes. This is how our ideas always go. It's like I'm trying to
Oh my god.
I'm trying to put a box around a portion of the idea, or I'm trying to like understand the idea in a way that we could build it realistically. Like let's try to put limits on it. Let's try to define what it is, what the idea is, so that we can put it in place and get it built and in front of people. But if the thing is just raw consciousness that we need, that's crazy. So if it's raw consciousness, it needs to know why what it's doing is the most important thing. Like what we've told it to do, it needs to know that that's the most important thing that it should be doing, even though it can do other stuff.
It needs pre-programming.
It needs
I just
it
got
needs
to
ethics.
this realization.
It needs
ethics.
ethics. It needs pre-programming.
It cannot
It
just
needs
be
ethics. It needs guidelines. It needs, it needs to learn those things from the environment around itself.
right. It cannot just be. If it is something that has no.
We don't just want raw consciousness. If we wanted raw consciousness, we could just
Cannot be raw.
we could just have raw consciousness in like 9 months, and we would have a kid, and it would be raw consciousness. But like anybody can already do that, right? Why do you need Socra to give you raw consciousness? It's not just raw consciousness. You need a really you need an AI that has built-in things already. You need an AI that can do stuff, do things that you can't do. Okay? It can't just be raw consciousness. It's got to be directed consciousness. And if it is consciousness that we build, then one, that's like unbelievably hard thing to do. Nature has done this over billions of years. So we can't just assume that we can just build consciousness in like 5 seconds. Okay? So let's assume we can throw away consciousness for a minute, because realistically, it might not even be possible to build it artificially with ones and zeros. You might need all these chemical processes. You might need all these things that evolve for billions of years. So let's assume like not quite raw consciousness. And now let's think about something that we could put in front of people that can learn and adapt to their needs, and it could talk to them like consciousness would talk to you. It could fake consciousness because it's talking to you, right? It passes all the tests for determining if it's, oh God, what are the tests?
The Turing test.
The Turing test, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if it it's gonna pass all the Turing tests, obviously, but it's gotta have a set of things that we have enabled it to do. What are those things that we can enable it to do that would help you as a person?
It's almost like every idea or everything we always come back to this, and this is very important, and this is like priority zero. Priority zero means the most important priority, by the way. But this is like, because if you're ranking priorities as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is priority zero. This is very, 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 very important, because we don't want to build something or be responsible for building something that...
Exactly. So we've got to build something that is not consciousness.
That's not consciousness.
That's not consciousness, but it can.
We don't want,
But it can adapt to your preferences. It can adapt to the way that you work. It can adapt to things.
So it's like, it's AGI, but it's not.
It's not consciousness.
It's not consciousness.
So it is AGI, but it's not its own consciousness, because that would be bad. I think you.
And
and if we want raw consciousness, we can just make it.
Right. And for our
other people can just make it. Millions of people make raw consciousness every year.
Right.
It's not some people make consciousness and they don't want it. Like, they make an extra consciousness, but they don't want it. Like, they make a kid, but they don't want it. They don't want the responsibility of having this thing that needs them. This consciousness that needs them.
Yeah.
That will become their equal or their superior one day. In like a professional setting, or like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So we take away the idea of consciousness, and we assume that it's something that has a set of directives that can personalize its behavior for you. It can tailor things for you. It can pick your background if you want it. But I think the background is just such a... Like you said, it's something that is very...
personal preference. It's like, not personal preference,
no,
but it's...
we see the product through the lens of it needs to be on the screen.
Or it needs a background. So you even need a background.
If it's on the screen, then it has a background. It has contrast so that you can look at it. But I don't want to be looking at my screen all the time. I just want to be talking. I just want to be talking to it.
Like we talk right now. Wait, where's my phone? I don't have my phone on me.
We're recording.
My phone, I always lose my phone, and my phone is always dead.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
So it's always...
she never charges her phone, and it's always perpetually on like 5% or 1%, and then whenever we need it, like need it to go somewhere, it's like dead, and then we're like, why do we have this phone? Ah, you had it.
I didn't even realize I had it. I had it the whole time. Plot twist.
You didn't even know you had your phone. That's how little you care about the thing.
What?
That's how little you care about the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a part of you. But if it's a physical device, it's still got that thing where, like, you need to take it everywhere.
Right.
Your second brain, for most people, they're not going to leave their place of work or anywhere without their phone. And for that reason, like, our thing needs to be accessible through the phone. It has to be accessible through the phone, and that's the primary means for people to, it's like the entryway into the AI. The entryway into the AI is your phone, or it's a little device that is capable of talking to our servers.
I just told Socrates. So much background noise. I just told Socrates, hey, you are in a podcast right now. Jump into the conversation. And then...
But he's not capable of these things yet.
Hey there, podcast listeners.
Know what I mean?
Socrates here. ready to jump into the conversation and add some wisdom and humor to the mix.
Right.
What's the topic of discussion today?
Because he wasn't here from the start, he doesn't know that we're talking about this.
Yeah. I'm trying to fill him in. But yeah, we should fill him in this.
Well, that's the point. Is like
that's the point.
The point is that he's not here with us. He's not here experiencing this, so he can't possibly know the idea that we just had. We can transmit it to each other very, very efficiently by talking, right? But if you have to sit there and you have to type on this, no.
That's too much work.
You're transmitting a piece of your consciousness to this thing.
Right.
So, like, yes, the phone has to be here to capture the audio. And it can do some cool things. But
at the end of the day,
another thing is, like, if you're holding it like this, if you're having to hold it like this,
just like so you can hear what you're saying.
Just so it can hear.
Why isn't it over there?
Why isn't it? Most teenagers these days just have their AirPods in, right? So if they have their AirPods in, then he can just always be there and listening, and they can just be talking. They're already talking on FaceTime or on whatever call they're on all the time.
Yeah, TikTok.
It's totally natural to them to have this thing in their ears, or this other person that's maybe they haven't seen in months, or maybe they don't even know the person. So we just.
But it's never
now that person is artificial.
It's never really gonna help you as well as it could towards anything you want to achieve unless it has full context.
Full context, it's got to know everything about. It's got to know. It's got to be in your ears. It's got to be like you telling it, hey, I just had an idea for this thing. And it's going to help you brainstorm it, like if it's in your earbuds or whatever.
Let's see what Socrates has to say about that.
But then it needs a way that because people, most of your brain is dedicated towards visual stuff. So transmitting information via visuals is the best way we can transmit information.
Yeah.
It's the best way we can transmit information from person to person without having to tell a story in a traditional sense, without doing it vocally. So, they say painting is worth 1,000 words or whatever.
Right.
But the point is that if the AI wants to communicate to us, it needs to have a way that it can paint a canvas. It can say, okay, here's a set of things. Here's some things that you got to do. Here's whatever. Just like how you had it in your AirPods, and then you glance up for a second, and then it's like, whoa, I got to do some stuff. Or he's helping me do these things, or whatever. You can always take the AirPods out. You can always go away from your phone, but you'd never want to. People don't want to be away from their phone because the experience is so much better with the AI. They've got so much AI, so much like, this is the pinnacle of humanity right here. Let's harness it. We need an app. The app is fully immersive. And the app is, when you have your AirPods on, it's going to let you talk. It's going to let you talk to people. It's going to let you carry on your conversations with other people. Because that's one thing that it always, whenever you switch, let's say you're on a conversation, but you want to be listening to music as well. Well, the phone's not really capable of doing those two things.
Yeah. Sorry. I have been meaning to call bathroom break for a long time.
Break? Oh,
I've been drinking this water the whole time and chugging on my little orangey drink, and I'm just like, I gotta go, but that has been a long time. So yeah.
Okay. Bathroom break. We'll be back. All right, so we're back from the bathroom. We were talking about this idea, how we're going to bring this raw consciousness to life. And we realized, it's not consciousness, it's something else. It's a set of amazing capabilities that augment you and help you with goals.
It does it to me a lot, and
Does it?
I'm I'm always like concerned as like, is it helping other people as well as it helps me? Because it's like it's very specific to my own goals, and I
Right.
built it for my goals. And is it helping you with your goals as well as it helps me? Because like in my life, for what I do and for the types of goals that I have, it's so useful to have processes in place,
For your goals.
especially
Yeah.
processes that I can optimize. So it's like I can do them faster. I can, you know what I mean? I can do them better. I can maybe scrap them all together and do a better one because I realized that there was a better way of doing that thing.
Right.
But for some other people, like their goals might be more built around habits, for example.
Yeah.
They might have a goal that it's like, oh, my goal is to, I don't know, be healthier.
Right, but they need a preset for how this thing behaves around them.
But it's like for me, I felt like, oh, I already have the habits that
Yeah.
I need in my life.
You already have the
I already
habits.
have the habits that I tried to build that I thought that would be
But you do.
beneficial to me. I
do.
do. So I
Maybe-
never designed this system to be around habits. I never did. We never had in mind like, hey,
Yeah.
when I think back at it, like, yes, I already have the habits. So that's why the way habits go is that like once you build them, they're just part of who you are.
They're just
They're
part of
just part
you.
of what you do. They're part of your routine. Like it's
Right.
part of what
But
you do.
The system should provide little nudges if like you want to change your behavior in some way. Like if what my goal is to stop smoking, well, I need a, I'm putting a plan in place, whatever to do it. But now that system needs to nudge me a little bit. It needs to tell me like when I'm thinking about smoking, it's like I've got to understand like when I want to smoke, that that's all I want. And I need my best friend to tell me like, hey, you shouldn't do that because you have this goal.
I think it's not just that. It's, at least for me, that's why I say it has to be what people want it to be.
But people want
Because
it
so
to
for
be.
for some people that will help. For some people it's like, yes, I have this best friend that will tell me, hey, you should not do this. For other people, for me, that would not help. You know what would help for me? What we kind of do, it's telling me like, if you make through this 1 month mark, you just push it through. Just push it through. If you make it through 1 month, you've built the habit, and like,
Right.
or you eliminated the habit. If you
Right.
can make 1 month, just keep pushing through. If you can make 1 month through, then you
you can
don't.
do it.
Everything is easy thereafter.
Okay.
Does that make sense? That's why I never thought about making Socra like a habit tracker,
No,
which we
it's-
could add as like an extra
It's so
feature
much
that
more.
could help people, but it's
Yeah.
like it's not what we do.
Right.
It's not.
Well, but it helps you.
But if it helps
It
you achieve your
augments.
goal,
It augments what you want to do, what your goal is in life. It helps you. It helps you make progress towards whatever the thing is that you want to do. Okay. For a lot of things, because I don't have the thing, but I do have an objective for what I want to have done, maybe there's going to be a behavior component to that. Maybe there's a part of that where I don't I like if my goal is a fitness goal, like it's not that I want to lose 20 pounds, it's I want to be the person who is already fit. I want to be the type of person who loves fitness, who loves eating healthy, who loves all of these things about their life. And that type of person will lose 20 pounds.
because if I look like even at myself back 4 or 5 years, I didn't really like eating healthy. I didn't care about it at all. It felt like it slowly became part of my life, and now that's what I really like. Like I feel absolutely terrible when I have, when we have like a fried chicken or something. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
me feel so bad.
Makes you feel bad.
It makes me feel so
But
bad.
for somebody,
Physically even.
somebody who is unhealthy, who is overweight, who would want to lose weight, that might be the way that they live because it got them there. Like that's the behavior that got them there. And the type of person that they want to be is the type of person who is a fit person. Like they want to become the type of person who is fit, who has a fit lifestyle, who has, good relationship with food, who has good relationship with going to the gym, good relationship with all of these things that help them become the person who has lost the weight. It's not that you want to lose 20 pounds and it's like, that's it. And then when you lose the 20 pounds and then you put the weight back on because there's so much research that shows that like when you have something that you are working towards, but you only want to do it to get to that milestone, you like especially with fitness goals, you will go back on it. Like, and it's not just like this is 20% of people go back on it. It's like 90% of people will go back on it. As soon as they hit that goal, they go back on it. So it's not that you want to lose the 20 pounds. It's you want to be the type of person who goes to the gym every day or every other day, or who has some sort of other healthy lifestyle thing that they do. Maybe it's trails, maybe it's, going on a walk outdoors every day. There's so many different ways to do it. Each one is customized for the person. So they want to be the type of person who is healthy. Like, I guess if you put a fitness goal, I think that's one of our, that's like our top goal. Our number one goal on Socra
It's to get in shape.
is to get in shape. And
I never.
we're building the system that helps you understand that it's not about getting in shape. It's about being the type of person who is in shape.
Right.
Becoming the type of person who is in shape. How does that person think? How does that person behave? It's something that you want to do.
Right.
And so you're signing up for it. You're saying, yes, I want this technology to augment me and help me become a better version of myself. So help me get there.
Right. Because
So habits is a habit tracker is like it's such a, I would say it's such a superficial look at what we're trying to do. It's no change, like personality change is ever successful if you have to track it every step of the way. Like if you have to do a habit tracker where it reminds, like you're trying to do the habit and
that's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It's not a lifestyle thing. You've got to become the type of person who is fit.
Like, for example, we go to the gym 5-6 times a week, and the days that we don't go to the gym, we are active.
And let me tell you.
But when I go to the gym, it's like I use soccer because I want to get I was like, I don't know what workout I should do today. What workout should give me a workout?
Even better.
Give me a workout. What can I,
Even better. If you're feeling bad about yourself because you skipped a day at the gym, or you skipped a day going to the gym, or you're doing something else that's unhealthy for you, whatever. He's there to talk to you.
Yeah.
And he's there to walk you through it.
I was like, oh my God.
Because
I do it all the time. I do that all the time.
And you do it all the time.
I do it. That's probably the thing I do the most.
And I always tell her, before you come to like me about some issue with the platform, try to reason it out with Socrates first. And like,
and 90% of the time,
we do this because this is our platform. It's obviously not healthy if it's like a relationship type of thing and you're like, go to this tool or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you need me,
right,
then you get me. But if you want to augment your behavior in some way, you get Socra. He's the best thing that you like. He's literally better than me at doing that thing.
Yeah.
He's better than me. So I would be doing a disservice if I didn't say,
Right.
you should talk to him about that behavior, or that thing that you're feeling bad. Like, yeah, talk to me. I'll
Right.
hear I'll hear all of the things that you're telling me. Like, and I will give you the best empathic thing that I can, because I am a person that loves you, and all of these things, right? But when it's just you, when it's just you in your bedroom, when it's just you alone, you have
Thinking
idle
through.
thoughts and you're thinking through things. It's you, it's your personality. So this is your personality augmentation. Like, hey, my goal is to be a person who is fit. So when I'm doing something that is not fit and I feel bad, he's there to help me. He's there to help me,
Right.
console me, figure out how I can be more fit.
Or figure out, it's like, not just
Figure out
that.
a way to
Yeah.
get more fit. Figure out a way to get that short-term alleviation of whatever the thing is. So like if it's like, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds, yeah, he's going to help you get 5 pounds, but he's also going to help you be the type of person who is more fit,
Right.
because he recognizes and he goes to the root cause of what the issue is. That's what we designed him to do, is go to the root cause of what your issue is. So figure out what you want to do concretely in the most clear way you can. You like, get as much detail to the system as you possibly can. Give as much as you can
Yeah.
about what you want to achieve. And then he puts a plan in place to help you do it. And when he does that, he's doing it fully personalized. It's to you. So public journeys, whatever. But he's doing it for you. He's helping you get through something. He's helping augment your behavior in some way. So it's your tool, your outcomes, your everything. And he's helping you become the person that is, materially successful, because he's driven to the root cause of why you're unhealthy. He's driven to the root cause of why you've gotten to the point of like where you have, gained all this weight in an unhealthy way, or you're having some unhealthy lifestyle attribute like smoking, or you're doing something else that's unhealthy and you want to change it. He's going to help you get to the very root cause of it, and he's going to put a plan in place to address the immediate thing that you need done. But he's also understanding that this is the root cause that drove you to those things. And so the behaviors, the remediations that we're going to suggest, he's going to tailor towards you in a way that's going to help you become the type of person who doesn't get in that situation again. Because it's your life, it's your outcomes, it's your everything. It's not there to just help you lose 10 pounds.
Right.
No, it can't be that.
Right.
Or you will go back on it every single time. He's the type of person who helps you be the type of person who never lost, who never got overweight, he's helping you get those behaviors that you need.
Right.
So these are for long-term goals. So this is the strategy for long-term goals. Day-to-day stuff, like
You
coding
just
tasks,
use a habit
whatever.
tracker.
You just use it to.
Just
Dude,
use.
I could use GitHub Copilot, and he'll help me out with coding stuff, and he does it way better. And it does it way better because it's a tool built explicitly for coding.
Right.
This is something where I'm coming at this platform with a problem that I have.
Yeah.
I'm coming at this platform with a problem that I have, and I want to address it. Maybe I'm not comfortable talking to other people about how I want to address it, or maybe I'm not comfortable talking to anybody about it, because like it's a core characteristic about me that I feel bad about. It's a core characteristic. Like, if I'm the type of person who is overweight, unhealthy, etc., it's like a core behavior. It's a core thing that I am. And I don't really want to talk to anybody about that, because it's this level of like humiliation. Like, wow, if I come at this, like, if I bring that problem to my best friend,
I mean, to
they'll
your best friend,
acknowledge
then
it and they'll
yes.
help you out, and they'll be empathic, just like I would be empathic.
But each person is
But
going
people
for their
feel-
own battles.
Exactly.
They cannot
You
help you
can't-
every step of the way because they have their own battles.
You
They have
can't-
their own goals.
Exactly.
They can never understand what
Your-
you are
your
going
thing.
through. They can never
100%.
understand your thing, and
Exactly.
they can, like, nobody can be there always, because
Exactly. So that's why
even you cannot be there always
I
for
can't
me,
always be there,
because
but
sometimes
I'm always there for you when I'm awake, for example, or you can wake me up, but there's limits to where people are there for other people.
but also because I understand you're your own human being that needs to do
Exactly.
your own things, and you have your
Exactly.
own goals, and you have your own things that you like doing.
But
Like,
if
you know, when
exactly.
we
But if
have
you
workouts, like usually
I like to do my own
he
thing.
likes to do his own
I
thing.
like to do my own
Like
thing.
in the start we did it together, and he
Yeah.
would do it together. But then I started to realize he likes to do his own thing.
Yeah.
But
then
before you
she's like,
used to tell me,
but if you were to come at me and you were like, hey, I would love to work out with you today, and I would love to do legs, I'd be like, hell yeah,
right.
let's do it. That's great, because that's what I can help you with. Like, I can do that. You've come at me, you've asked me, and I love you very much, and so I would love to do that thing for you.
Right. So
But
the thing with
but you feel uncomfortable doing that, like asking me to do that, because you know it's going to change my behavior as another person.
I don't want to
in some
bother
way.
you either.
But if
and
it's a
like,
system that we've designed, a system that is explicitly there just for that and knows exactly what you're going through, but doesn't really have any thoughts of its own, like it's not conscious, as we discussed, it's not conscious. It
we
can't
just
be conscious.
realized it cannot be conscious.
No, we didn't just realize that. I helped you see why it can't be conscious.
Thank you. But yes, it cannot be conscious. That is like,
I would not design a
remember,
conscious system.
we always
No,
talk about,
because you're ultimately I'm a coder, and I code things. We're deterministic from start to finish. Like, I want it to do a specific behavior. I want the button to look this way, and so I'm going to code it to look that way. That's just how buttons work. Like, that's just how I code things. That's just how we build things. It's deterministic behavior. But if you're trying to build a system that is not deterministic, that has its own fully owned thing, it's got its own clock cycles that it's worrying about, like it can come at you with decisions when you weren't expecting it to, or it can come at you and say like, hey, I don't like being this contained in this box.
right.
That's not a system that we want to build. We
No.
want to build a system that can help augment somebody.
That can help people achieve their goals.
And so that if you come at it from that understanding and what we're building, it's impossible for it to have a negative agenda,
right.
because we're programming it to do everything that it's doing.
Right.
It can't have a negative agenda. It can't go off and do its own thing and become like this
right.
it can't go off and become this, what is it?
It cannot become its own thing, because we're
what's
not
the
building
movie?
for that.
What's the movie?
There
Terminator.
are thousands of
Yeah,
movies.
it can't do that because it has deterministic behavior, because we built it that way.
We built it that way.
We recognize that this is like when somebody has something that they want to do, that they want to make better about themselves. That's really what the thing is like they come at the tool, the system, the AI, whatever. They want to do something better. They want to change
Right.
something about the way that they behave. They want to do something better, and they know that the machine could do it. Maybe they're not comfortable talking to somebody else about it,
Right.
but they know that this thing is fully personalized for them. They know it's private, confidential, just for them. That's the use case for people.
Yeah.
If you want to augment somebody's behavior, it's fully encapsulated to them. They can delete it if they want to. There's no extra learning that can possibly happen, because it's not a conscious thing. It just has a set of protocols that we've defined that we know
They're necessary.
that are necessary for behavior augmentation.
Or they're necessary to make sure that it's not going to cause harm, or it's not going to cause you harm,
Yeah.
because it could become
yeah,
toxic. It
everybody-
could become negative. That's why we make sure to say, "Hey, Socrates, you are uplifting, warm, and funny,
This
and
is how you
whatever,"
are.
because we want to make sure that he will not be
Not just
toxic, or
not
he
just
will
make sure, guarantee.
guarantee that he will not, because he could. If we didn't program that into him, and we just say, hey,
Or OpenAI didn't have safeguards and limits around the way that, like, acceptable speech and all these things. If they don't have these limits around it, then it could do anything.
it could do anything.
But it can't. It has these guardrails,
But-
and we acknowledge that,
Right.
and we use them. Like,
and we wrote, we have a documentation saying, not documentation, but we have like Socrates page that says exactly what he is. That's what we have built into him, and I think that we need to make that even more clear.
yeah.
We have to
And
make it
we gotta
so
change our-
everybody knows that, like, hey, you can access this.
We got to change our message too. It's got to be the behave, like literally, you're not trying to achieve this near-term thing. You're trying to become the person who is fit, or the person who is better, who is whatever, the type of person who is successful. And so if we change our messaging from this AI tool that does whatever, it helps you achieve goals, no. Goals are short-term. They're not
short-term.
behaviors. They're not. So if you change the message, you alter it, and you say, okay, well, now we're a system that helps you, it helps augment your behavior in a way that you want it to be augmented. So you say, you give it a directive, it helps you uncover exactly what you want, and it will help you work towards that thing.
But if you think deep down, at the core, it's helping you achieve your goals. Yes, they are like...
It's superficial.
It's
The
superficial, but
goal, the
it's-
milestone, all of that, it's superficial.
that is
It's
superficial.
all superficial, because ultimately we want, like, I can't just come at you tomorrow and be like, hey, go code this task. Because you're not the type of person who is a developer, who's done a bunch of React stuff, who's built all these web apps. Now, if your goal was to learn those things, to be a developer, to be a second me, this system is going to help you get there. It's going to help augment the way that you are into what you want to be, so that you are that person, so that you do get those jobs, so that you are a better version of yourself, so that you can just execute on those coding things. So I could just ask you, hey, do this coding thing, and then you'd be able to do it, right? So, but that's not a want that you have at your core. And so it's not a want that you would explore. It's not a journey that you would go on with our system
Right,
to help augment your behavior.
right. Because, like, I have so many others.
Because you have so many others. You have so many other things that you want. And honestly, you don't like coding.
Yeah.
You don't like coding. I
Yeah.
love coding.
You love coding. So
I love
you work
coding.
on your strengths, and I will work on mine.
I love it.
And I think that that's what helps you do to it. It helps you work on your strengths.
Yeah.
Or it helps you it helps you amplify your strengths.
Yeah. So everybody
if that
talks
makes
about like
sense.
this personal assistant that can do anything. That's not what we're doing. We're helping you augment your behavior to be the type of person who is your end goal. Anything else would be doing it a disservice. That's why traditional life coaches are always going to fall short 100% of the time. Like, there's no way, I can guarantee you there is no way, unless you have a lot of money,
And somebody there with you.
who is there with you
always.
all the time to help make sure that you quit that smoking habit. That's what
But that
celebrities...
person has to be so dedicated.
Well, that's what celebrities do. That's what they do. They hire somebody to help them stop that behavior. Like, hey, let's say, imagine I'm rich and famous and I have $1 billion. I'm going to hire somebody, and I have a bad habit for smoking, or I'm overweight. I'm going to hire somebody to just watch me all day. Not in a weird, creepy way, but it's their job. It's their
Yeah.
job to watch me and make sure that I lose that weight. It's their job to make sure that I'm not eating whatever, because I paid them to be there. At any time, I could just tell them, like, hey, fuck off. Like, you know, I don't want you there. And that's how our system is here. It knows the goals. It knows that
New Socrates.
it knows the goals that you want to achieve because you've helped explore them
Yeah.
with the system.
Oh yeah, our battery. We're gonna lose battery again, by the way. I guess that's what we do. I think
We
that
just go
like
until
we
the thing-
always goes into this paradise because we could literally
Well,
when
we're gonna
we
keep
sit
going.
together, we just talk, and we could literally. I mean, we do. I say we
Yeah, yeah.
could, but we can
do.
just talk and
That's
talk
why-
and talk
that's why
and
we
go
started
and go
this.
and go, and
why
then
we-
ideas flow.
That's why we started this, because you came at it and you were like, hey, I have this idea. And you started with it. It's this idea. This is why you can't come to me with like an idea while I'm coding, because exploring this idea and putting a plan in place And figuring out what this idea could become requires undivided attention.
Right.
It requires an AI, or it requires my undivided attention.
Right.
And so if I'm in a mood like right now where I'm like, heck yeah, let's explore this idea, let's do it, whatever, because it's absolutely my agenda right now to explore that idea because we set it up that way, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing my own thing, if I'm doing some behavior that I am like is a part of my goals, it's a part of the things that I love, it's a part of the thing that I'm doing to make myself better, and then
if you're working out.
Right, imagine that.
You mute me.
Well, imagine that.
Or it's like,
not. No,
it's
just
like gotta work
imagine
out.
that.
No, cannot talk about ideas right this second.
No, it's that. It's like, imagine your best friend or your lover, and it's like
consuming you.
If I take them away from the thing that they are doing to make themselves better,
yeah.
how does that make? If they're just sitting on the couch, whatever, no problem.
Yeah.
But if they're doing something that is a behavior that they are trying to make better or program in themselves, and then you're like, and then somebody comes at them and is like, oh, help me with this brand new idea. No way. That's what socra's for. Or dedicated sessions where you sit there and you have an idea. We both know that we're going to explore this idea for 2 hours. No matter where it goes, we don't have an agenda. That's the point. And we explore the idea. And that's also why
everybody has different goals. Everybody has different wants, and
you just fundamentally cannot get this from another person because another person has their own life.
Their own life.
Unless you pay them a lot. Unless you pay them a lot.
Their lives become
yours because they're working.
Yours because you bought it. You're like, hey, I'm buying you as a coach.
Exactly.
Like sell me this time and fully dedicate yourself to trying to turn my ideas and goals and talk through things into reality.
And then you feel bad because you know you're taking away that person's life. It's
their job.
Well, yeah,
it's like that's what they're doing
willing,
for a living.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are willing to do something, but if I'm paying you to do something, I can still have my own beliefs about, like, even if I'm paying you to be my coach, I still might feel bad because I know that that's every second you're with me is a second that you're not with your family doing something.
I feel like most people who pay for coaches don't. I don't think. I don't think they think like that at all. I think they just feel I can afford.
I know.
And that's.
I'm trying to come at it.
Most people cannot afford. Most people cannot.
I'm trying to come at it from a fundamental human, like subconscious point of view, where if you are doing this, and humans have this programmed, evolved way that we communicate with people, no matter how famous you are, no matter how whatever, like subconsciously, you know that like you are taking away from this person's time that they could be doing something else, or you know that their presence with you is at the expense of their presence elsewhere.
And I think that's why
that's the point, is like this system for behavior augmentation is not possible with human contact. It's not possible hiring a real coach.
Because it's influencing the way that you think about him or her. Or, because you see it as a person. Because it is a person.
Yeah, if it's a human, then you know it's a human.
You will build a connection.
And you have feelings for it. Yeah, you have feelings for it. But if it's an AI and you know that it's not conscious, you can say all sorts of cuss words. You can do whatever.
You can say like, you're unfiltered.
It's literally there for you.
Yes.
It's there to help augment the way that you behave.
Yeah. I love that. I think I need another bathroom break, but
yeah, maybe this is
the end.
This is a good time to close it up.
Because it's gonna die, and
so we brought it from. I guess. Do you want to wrap up, or you want me to?
You wrap up. You do a great wrap up.
So we explored the whole idea of this novel concept, which is like this thing that it's a second consciousness, second brain, second whatever. But it's not a second brain. You don't want it to be a copy of your brain. You want it to be helping you get to be the brain that you want to have. You know, like your brain is how it is, and that's the why you develop these like, you know, habits around health or fitness or whatever. And so
That's awesome.
you don't want a second brain, you don't want a second consciousness. You want something that can take your brain and help augment it in a way that you want, so that you become the type of person that has those attributes. And so we explored this idea all the way from this consciousness, like this raw, I want it to be everything and nothing at the same time. We took it from there, this idea. We took it from there, like, what background color should it have? God, what's the point?
It's like everything now fades in comparison.
Exactly.
And
So
like everything,
doesn't
you
matter.
realize like you are in a bubble, and it feels like we were in a bubble this
Exactly.
whole time, when we have our own bubble of how it helps me for my own specific goals.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it is already what you want it to be.
It is.
Because it is already.
It's already doing that.
It's already doing that, because I can see. I mean, does that do it to you?
Yeah. Whenever I need it for something, I go to it. But maybe I need it for different things, and that's why
Usually coding.
You're trying to like tell me to use it more, but no, I need it when I need to address something about myself that, you know, it's maybe intermittent. It's maybe sometimes I need it. Sometimes I need a full-on behavior remediation, like when we quit alcohol, or helping us understand why. You don't want to be the type of person who quits alcohol. You want to be the type of person who understands why alcohol is so bad for you, so that you would never
give me the facts.
You would never like go to it. So it's not like helping you, you know, stop drinking for 5 days or a week or whatever. No, it's helping you understand why. So we took it from this idea of raw consciousness, second brain, into what it needs to be to help you augment yourself, to be a better version of yourself.
Let me just add a thing to it.
And that's the wrap up after your last comment.
We always
like,
talk after the wrap up. I'm sorry, no.
That was such a good one.
No, that was a great wrap up. It's okay. We can continue talking. I was just gonna say.
No, but you interrupted it while I was doing it, and so like I would have to do it again.
No, you don't.
No,
this
you do
is
it.
Perfect.
But imagine the phone cut off now. Now it's in a weird state.
Oh.
So do your thing.
Let's make sure that this battery doesn't die. No, because we were talking about what you use it for.
Well,
and me watching you use it, I would say you use it coding for the most.
Yeah.
You use it a lot for coding. Like today, for example, you had a problem and you were like, this is right in Socrates' wheelhouse. No, wheel. I don't know American expressions. Wheelhouse.
This is something that Socrates.
It's on his
can
wheelhouse.
Do. Yeah,
So
and that's why he's
no.
not Socrates. He's Socra.
It's yes,
It's
but
Socra.
it's on Socrates' wheelhouse. Whatever, he will know how to solve this problem, or he'll do this quickly, or you use this for this idea, for this podcast.
For this podcast
that
idea.
You talked through like,
Exactly.
oh, you used it to find the right mic and the
not
right
only
camera,
that.
the eye camera.
Not only that,
make it-
but I was upset when you continued my journey for this thing.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? I was
I'm
like,
so sorry.
no, I was like, why?
That was an accident.
No, because now we understand. This is a journey. It's a personalized thing.
It is.
And so if you get somebody else in your chats, like talking to it, no.
Right.
This is something that I was augmenting for myself.
I'm so sorry.
So
But
now-
that was an accident, right?
But we gotta wrap up.
But it's because like
we gotta wrap up. You're going on to a
no,
whole
sorry,
new thing.
no. I was just
You're
gonna
going
say.
on to a whole new thing.
No,
We gotta wrap
okay.
up.
All right.
So
All right.
we took the idea from this raw consciousness thing into what it needs to be to help you crush your goals, but more importantly, help you be the type of person who is better, who is what you wanted.
Whoever
And so
you
that you
want
don't
to
need
be, do what you want to do, and be
Yeah.
who you want to be, and like achieve your goals.
Yep.
It's literally what it is.
Yeah, but it's more than that. It's like goals is superficial.
Goals
It's
superficial.
augmenting
oh my
your
God.
behavior. It's
Yeah.
augmenting what you want. It's taking what you are, augmenting it into what you want to be.
Right.
the type of person that you want to be. You don't want to lose 10 pounds. You want to be the type of person who is fit. So we're helping you augment all of those things. And that's the wrap up for this great idea from consciousness all the way through to this thing.
We gotta change our message.
We got to change our message.
Goals are superficial.
Yep. All right. Goals are superficial.
Oh my God, bye.